The burden of drug abuse is becoming a public health concern in Nigeria. While it has become a global public health concern, Nigeria has had her own fair share of the ugly phenomenon. It is now common sight to see adolescents engaging in the abuse of alcohol and ingestion of hard drugs such as cannabis, cocaine, heroin, and other illicit drugs. An estimated 4.7% of the population, which is approximately 4.6 million people, had used opioids such as tramadol, codeine, or morphine for non-medical purposes in the past year. Subsequently, nearly 1 in 8 persons, which is 12% of the adult population in Nigeria, has suffered some kind of consequences due to another person's drug use. For a conversation on drug abuse in Nigeria and its consequences, let's now turn to Felix, president of the Creative Industry Group. He will also speak on the Common Conference on Drug Abuse organized by his group in Lagos. Thank you so much for joining us on Newsday.
Thank you for having me.
Now, drug abuse is so prevalent in Nigeria, and it's especially amplified in the entertainment industry. So I'm wondering what impact really do you think the creative industry can have in helping to curb this menace?
When you talk about drug abuse, you know that the entertainment industry has been tagged as the peddlers, those that are mostly into drugs, and what we are doing now, we're using the same entertainment body, the creative body, to tell the world that taking drug, you're killing yourself. Telling you that drug abuse is bad. The same entertainment people, they believe that is promoting drug abuse, and the same entertainment people, because everybody cannot be lying down facing one direction. Everybody cannot be facing the same direction. I don't take drugs. So you have a lot of people within the creative space that does not take drugs. So we have come out now to tell the youths, mostly the youths, it's crazy. Just as you said now, if you see 10 youths, about 7 of them are on drugs right now. And it's so crazy. You're on the street, you're seeing syringes on the ground everywhere. And the most painful part of it, little children, secondary school children now, most of them, they are on drugs. And that's what gave birth to this movement, this campaign we've started now, this conference that is coming up on the 28th. To say to the youth, to say to parents that you're supposed to look after your children. You're supposed to check those your children are moving with, their friends. You understand? So it's crazy. It has become an epidemic.
All right, you say it's become an epidemic, but for those in the entertainment industry,
yes,
there is a misconception, or some will say it's a perception, depending on who you're talking to, that the use of drugs helps
boost creativity.
Yeah, okay, not even boost as much as helps facilitate creativity to a large extent. That it helps unlock the mind, that you start working in another dimension, maybe in the 5th or 6th dimension, depending on who you're talking to. And that gives them that urge, because if you are in the realm of mere mortals, you might not be able to say something or actually put out a creative body of work that will wow people, that you need to operate at that level. So you get to see with this mindset, almost cast in stone. It's almost, how do you begin to shake off that? Because a lot of people that subscribe to marijuana will tell you that when they actually take it, it unlocks their mind in ways that they will not be able to touch that level, that depth in their mind if they were just in a very sane state.
I would tell you, is their mindset. You see, talent is an inbuilt thing. It's a gift from God. It's an inbuilt thing. You don't use anything to boost it. It's God that gives.
Yeah, but creative block is a reality also in the industry.
Of course, creative, how do you mean?
Creative block, meaning, because just like writer's block, for
Yes.
example, whereby you're in front of maybe you're in front of a microphone, or probably you're trying to write a song, and nothing is coming out. You're trying to write a script, nothing is coming out from your head. And you're looking for something to just probably lift yourself. These are realities. You get to see.
They are not realities.
This is what they say to themselves.
That is what I'm telling you, is their mindset. Is their mindset. I am a musician, for goodness sake. And I've done albums upon albums, and maybe you don't know, you've forgotten my songs. I did Mr. Goody Goody. You know that song?
Yes, I did. Back in the day.
I did Joanna, Can't Take Your Medicine. These are hit songs. I never took anything. You don't need marriage. You don't need hard drugs to write songs.
But how do you convince people otherwise? When you look at the chart toppers, and you can actually link most of the chart toppers to this hard drugs, illicit drugs, marijuana, and all these stimulants of some sorts.
It depends on the way you see it. In our time, we were chart toppers. Artists like Sonny Neji never took anything. He made a lot of noise. What is happening now?
But Sonny Neji is not that relevant in the industry anymore.
It's because of social media now.
Okay.
In our time, there was no social media. So that is what have given them more relevance. It's not like they are doing better than what we did.
But
you understand what I'm saying? Here. But the truth is, you don't need hard drug to be what God wants you to be.
True.
You don't need hard drug to compose songs. It's just your mindset. The devil is deceiving them. That's all I have to say. Okay. Something is speaking to them to tell them that when you take this, you'll be on top of the world. When you take this, you do this. There are a lot of people. I can count a lot of my colleagues that did well back in the days. When I begin to mention names, they don't smoke, they don't drink, but they did well. If it was, if we had social media, maybe you would have. If I'm talking now, you won't say what you're saying, because we'll be very, very relevant all over the world.
No, I get you, but I'm just saying right now the stats are there.
It doesn't matter, but if they are destroying themselves.
True.
Since we have agreed, that the entertainment industry is actually, associated, as the promoter, of the use of these hard drugs and all. I'm wondering what the creative, what your group, offers to colleagues that are in the creative industry that have fallen, to this that have fallen to abusing drugs. Do you offer them rehabilitation? Do you get them back to work? What do you do for them? Shouldn't this campaign, to eradicate drugs, shouldn't it start from that industry?
Yeah, that's what we're doing. This is the first conference we're having. We tend to take this conference around the country. We are creating room for rehabilitation. We are creating rooms for help, for those that are already in it, that are addicted to it. So there are different kinds of help that we will render.
Are you going to be working with notable faces? For instance, the notable faces that we do know promote this drug abuse with their songs.
Yes, we will reach out to them. It's a gradual process. Rome wasn't built in a day, but we have to start from somewhere. We've invited stakeholders to come. Let's discuss this and talk about the problem and discuss the way out of it.
How do you help the industry that don't believe they have a problem? Because these days it is sickening, but you see some of the biggest artists holding what they call a joint, a stick of marijuana, and they're smoking it on social media, literally. And they're not ashamed of it. I would not want to mention the name, but there are some musicians that are synonymous with marijuana, for example. The reason why I mention marijuana is because a lot of them believe that it is not a drug. It is a plant, and it is a herb that should be legalized. When they talk about how things are in America, the fact that CBDs are popular and CBDs are being even recommended by some health institutions, and they say these are the reason why. So we are not doing anything wrong. We are not drug addicts, or some of them what we call functional addicts. They take these things and they can still function in their daily lives. The question is, how do you help an industry that does not agree or that refuses to admit that they have a problem?
First of all, the blame will go to our security agencies. They have failed us big time, the security agencies. How can you, it's not only marijuana they even take on social media, they take all kinds of drugs.
Yes,
and they flaunt it.
Yes, they do.
And we say this is a country that has, I mean, we have a security agent. We don't. Most of the fault that the youth that we all are crying about today is from our security agencies. They are not doing their work. Because if they are doing their work, it will not be so rampant that they will even do it publicly for everybody to see. Are you get what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, first of all, we have called all of them. We've invited the AIG for the conference. We've invited NDLEA. The chairman is coming, General Buba Marwa is coming. We've invited the First Lady of Lagos State, the governor's wife. We've invited 5 ministries, Lagos State ministries, Ministry of Art and Culture, Ministry of Health, and they are overwhelmed. They are supporting this conference. That everybody have to come is titled All Hands on Deck, because it's crazy. And I said, if you say that this matter does not concern you, and you decide to look the other way.
No, but even the NDLA are also complicit in this. There were reports that they actually endorsed an artist that is known, that is a known marijuana taker, and he does not hide it. And people ask questions.
Well, I cannot speak on that, but we have decided to call this conference so we can address this whole thing. And all hands has to be on deck. Because right now, these boys, even our girls now,
yes,
they take it, they are even worse.
Yes.
And most of them, when they need this drug, they take up weapons. Some of them go to the traffic light when you are there, and they break your glass and tell you, give me your phone, give me your money. Because it's a serious matter. It concerns everybody now. So that is why we have called both entertainers on that day, everybody, both actors and actresses, the immigration, NAFDAC, we've invited all of them.
Listen.
I hope so. So we all need to come together to discuss this before people start falling on the streets.
Mr. Felix Duke, President, Creative Industry Group, thank you so much. We wish you all the best with this initiative, and we hope it achieves great results.
Thank you so much. Thank you.